Hi everyone, welcome to Miss Adams Teaches Grammar. In this short video, we are going to be learning all about paragraphing, in particular, when to change. I'm going to explain 4 simple rules that helps you understand when the best time to change paragraph is. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to take you through an easy set of rules to help you remember when to change paragraph in writing. And the way to remember it is through tip-top paragraphs. Tip-top meaning they're going to be super great, but tip-top also stands for those 4 key rules. So let's get started. Tip-top paragraph simply stands for time, place, topic, and person. And I'm going to now take you through each one. So, first of all, the rule for changing time. Change paragraphs when there is a shift in time. It's as simple as that. So if you're changing the time of day, the time of year, the lesson in the classroom, so you're moving to 3rd period from 2nd period, you're going to change paragraph. So imagine your paragraph starting with phrases like later that day, or when she arrived, by the afternoon, or something a little bit more dramatic as darkness approached. It's still a change in time, isn't it? And so you change paragraph. So let's have a little look at this little bit of creative writing that I've done for you. It was 4 in the morning when she finally got to sleep. So here's our first marker of time. Yeah, it was 4 in the morning. So it's called a temporal discourse marker, or an adverb of time in this case. It was 4 in the morning when she finally got to sleep. Her brain had been whirring all through the night, worrying about the test that would take place the next day. When sleep finally claimed her, her dreams were full of disjointed quotations, unfinished essays, and an angry, shouting Shakespeare. The next morning, her alarm was a cruel wake-up. So again, there we have another temporal discourse marker. It's another marker of time changing. And so you change paragraph. Her alarm was a cruel wake-up. How much sleep had she had? No more than 3 hours in total. Not enough for the English test looming over her. I'm sure that never happens to you. So that's nice and simple. If the time changes, you change paragraph. Okay, now for place. Okay, so change paragraphs whenever there's a change in place. So if you change the destination of your story. So again, it might be a really big change. In LA, it was different. It might be a change from the kitchen to school. At school, we got started with. It might be from inside to outside. The garden was full of people. So if you change place, you change paragraph. Sometimes time and place go together, because you might go later that day when she arrived at school. That's time and place. That doesn't matter. So that's just another marker of that. Okay, so here's a continuation of that story. The classroom was stifling. So we're in a place here, adverb of place. The classroom was stifling, both from heat and anxiety. Claudia looked around her. Everyone was scribbling away, the scratch of pencils taunting her as she stared blankly at the page. At her old school, English hadn't been a problem. So why was it so hard here? Where had her confidence gone? So even this is referring back to a different place. So I've changed paragraph. So change of time, change of place, change of paragraph. 2 different ways. 3rd way. Now this is really big and broad. This is topic. And obviously, when you're changing time and place, you're often changing topics. So I've decided to show this to you in relation to more analytical writing. And funnily enough, I'm imagining that this is the essay that Claudia and her peers are writing in this English test. So I've written it on Macbeth. Don't worry about whether or not you know the content. It doesn't matter. It's just the general gist of it. Okay, so here's our first sort of PE paragraph. Shakespeare presents Macbeth and Lady Macbeth as united and equal at the start of the play. In his letter, Macbeth refers to his wife as his dearest partner of greatness, the superlative dearest demonstrating how treasured she is to him. Interestingly, the noun partner suggests that they are equals, a trait that would have been uncommon in a traditional Jacobean relationship where women were considered subservient. Okay, so that's one whole paragraph. It's all on the same idea. It's on this idea about them being equals. Now, imagining that this essay that Claudia or Buddy is writing, they want to then move on to Lady Macbeth being more powerful or more in control of their relationship. And so there is, funnily enough, a topic shift. And so we change paragraph. Despite this, it is clear that Lady Macbeth also has a lot of control over her husband's actions. So do you see what I mean there? We're moving on to a different point, a different idea, and therefore we are changing paragraph. Again, easy peasy. And the final one, person. Okay, so change paragraphs when a new person speaks or is introduced. The easiest way to think about this is in terms of direct speech. So let me give you an example. So again, we're imagining we're back in the same story. It's after the test. The bell rang, signalling the end of the lesson and thankfully the end of the test. How did you do? Leonie asked. Claudia's best friend always loved dissecting tests. I wrote about the way that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are equals. So here is a new speaker. It's Leonie speaking. Okay, she's not spoken there. This is her speaking here. But Leonie carries on speaking here. Yeah, how did you do? Well, I wrote about the way that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth are equals. So it continues through. But here, oh God, Claudia exclaimed. I didn't even think about that. I know I failed. This is her speaking. So a new character or a different character speaking. So that means it has to go onto the same line, onto the next line, sorry. And then finally, I've written Miss Adams, me, cameo in my own story, suddenly appeared, tapping Claudia on the shoulder. So because a new character has arrived, yeah, I've changed paragraph. But essentially, new person speaks, you go on to a new line. This is an area that people sometimes struggle with a little bit, the whole direct speech thing. So if you want, do have a little look at my video about rules of direct speech, laying it out and punctuating it. I'll link it at the very end of this video. Okay, so you can click on it to have a little look there. So those are the rules for changing paragraph. Tip top, time, place, topic, and person. Now, my last bit of guidance before I say goodbye to you is to actually say the most important thing in your writing is that you change paragraph. It is vitally important. If you just run all the way through your page without changing paragraph, you will lose marks. There is no doubt about that. If you change paragraph because you don't really know why, but you kind of just feel like you need a bit of a break, at least you've done it. A very wise woman many moons ago said to me, if a student doesn't know when to change paragraph, just change it when it feels right. Chunk it up. Yeah, it is much better to change paragraphs when you kind of got a feel for it. You just think, oh, I've written all of that. That's a bit different. I'll change paragraphs, than to not change paragraphs at all. And if you're in an exam and you suddenly realise that you've done that, go back and show your examiner with a couple of forward slashes where those paragraphs should be, because forgetting to change paragraph is a big no-no. Okay, that's it from me. If you have any questions about tip-top paragraphs or anything else, do just pop them in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, you know what I'm going to say, click that button, please, because then you will get access and notifications of all of these videos coming up. Do check out the playlists on my channel because there's loads of stuff on spelling, punctuation and grammar, but there's also going to be some videos there for you for your language and literature studies too. So thank you so much. Happy revising, happy writing, happy grammar.